Hello and welcome back to IMS Venturi, everyone. Now, if you're anything like my students, you would know that the IELTS listening test is not something impossible to crack. Yet, there are always a few tiny errors that can be there that you make which can pull your score down. But no worries, because in this video, I am going to be pinpointing to all of those small errors that people usually commit, and more importantly, I'll be telling you how to avoid them and ace the listening test. So without any further ado, let's get started. So let's talk about the first error that I see people making whenever they are going through the audios for listening test, which is getting trapped by distractors. Now, what are distractors? So distractors are words that get you distracted from finding the right answer on the listening test. Let me give you an example to elaborate. Let's say I say my train leaves at 5 p.m. Actually, to be precise, it leaves at 5:05 p.m. Now, if I ask you a question as to when does the train leave and you write 5 p.m., that's going to be the wrong answer. Why? Because they changed it in the audio and told you the precise time, that is 5:05 p.m. But how can we avoid such things? Well, there are two ways of avoiding this kind of error or trap. First is to be actively there and listen. Even if you think that you have found the right answer, please go on and continue to be there attentively listening to the audio file. First is this one. Second idea or second way to avoid this particular kind of trap is to look for words which are going to mark a contrast. Say for instance, actually, no, wait a minute, however, but. All of these words are going to work as signposting devices which are going to help you understand that the direction is going to shift now. And the moment you understand that, you should be a little bit more careful and think about what is going to happen next and capture that idea that they are talking about when they give you that device. So these are the two ways that can help you ace this kind of trap and not get distracted by these things. The second pitfall that I usually encounter students falling into is misspelling words. Now, misspelling words is not something that is about the words itself, because most of the times you'll see that IELTS is not going to give you something like very extraordinary to write in the listening test. Usually, the words that you are supposed to write are very simple and common words like students, week, so on and so forth. But the problem that I see people making is that they don't follow the number or the form of the word that they hear in the audio files. For example, let's say you hear that the answer is 2 students. Now, instead of writing 2 students, what you can do is that you just write 2 student. Now, the moment that happens, everything is verbatim from the audio and you think that it should be the correct answer. But only one thing is problematic there, and that is that you have not pluralized the word student, right? And that is going to make all the difference, and you are going to get a 0 on that particular question even if you wrote everything nicely there. So this is the first thing that I usually see people, that they make this error. The second is that sometimes they also use contractions. Contractions like instead of writing do not, they would write don't, or cannot will be written as can't, right? These things are not at all welcomed by your IELTS examination. So try not to do these things on the test. And if you think that something is very, high level vocabulary, usually those are going to be about proper nouns. So there would be some words which are going to be a little difficult to spell, but you will always see that on the IELTS examination, they will always give you something of that sort as proper nouns. And the best deal about the proper nouns on the test is that they will always be spelled out for you by the speaker of the audio. So you don't need to take a lot of stress for that and just follow the spellings that the person is dictating. The last error that I see people making often on the test day is misreading the question and not adhering to the word limit given by the question paper. So the first one, what you can do to avoid this is to carefully read the question statement, analyze what it's saying and chunk it out. Read it in proper small blocks and see what the question is asking you to do. And then once you have understood the entire question statement, then only go back to the audio and start looking for the right answer. As for the second thing, that is about your questions word limit, try to understand what is the word limit permitting you to do. Usually, it's a tricky job to understand what is the word limit, because in IELTS, it's not going to be as simple as write 2 words or 1 word, but they are going to tell you something like this instead, that no more than 2 words and or a number is allowed, right? So you need to understand what kind of amalgamations or combinations are permitted under that particular word limit, right? So if this is the word limit that has been given to you, no more than 2 words and or a number, then your answer could be a 1 word. Your answer could also be 2 words and your answer could also be a single number. But also your answer can be a combination of a single number and 1 word or a single number and 2 words. So this is something that you need to take care of whenever you are writing down the answers for your questions in the listening test. So that's all for today, students. I hope you found this video helpful. If yes, please like, share and subscribe and stay tuned for more such helpful content. Thank you.